Imagine an object hurtling through our solar system, a visitor from another star. Not just any visitor, but one so strange, so perplexing, that we pointed 15 of our most advanced spacecraft at it, all at the same time. This is the story of 3IATLAS, an interstellar comet that defied everything we thought we knew about these cosmic travelers. What we saw wasn't just a comet, it was a puzzle box of cosmic proportions, and each new image, each new piece of data, only deepened the mystery. When 3IATLAS was first spotted, astronomers were thrilled. It was only the third interstellar object we'd ever confirmed, a rare chance to study material from a completely different solar system. We expected it to behave like a typical comet, a dirty snowball that would develop a bright coma and a long tail as it got closer to the sun. But 3IATLAS had other plans. It was weird. Right from the start, its behavior was erratic. Its brightness fluctuated wildly, not in the predictable way a normal comet does, but in sudden, inexplicable bursts. It was like watching a cosmic firefly with a faulty switch. This was our first clue that something was very, very wrong. Standard comet models just couldn't explain what we were seeing. So, a massive observation campaign was launched. It was an unprecedented effort. We threw everything we had at it. The Hubble Space Telescope, the MAVEN orbiter at Mars, the Psyche spacecraft on its way to a metal asteroid, and a dozen other missions all turned their eyes toward this enigmatic guest. It was like an interagency space stakeout, with everyone trying to get a piece of the puzzle. What did they find? A gallery of images that reads more like a sci-fi novel than a science textbook. Let's start with Hubble. The images it sent back were breathtaking and utterly bizarre. Instead of a single, solid nucleus, Hubble saw a chaotic scene. The comet was breaking apart, but not in a simple, explosive way. It looked like it was slowly dissolving. The central core was shrouded in what scientists described as a teardrop-shaped cocoon of dust and gas. This cocoon was pulsating, changing shape and brightness over just a few hours. It was as if the comet wasn't just disintegrating, but was actively trying to hold itself together, shedding layers like an onion while a strange force field contained the debris. Nothing in our comet catalogues looked like this. It was a beautiful, ghostly, and completely baffling sight. But the teardrop cocoon was just the beginning. Over at Mars, the MAVEN orbiter used its ultraviolet spectrograph to look at the comet's atmosphere, or its coma. What MAVEN saw was staggering. The comet was surrounded by a gigantic halo of hydrogen, stretching out millions of kilometers into space. This hydrogen cloud was enormous, far larger than the sun itself. While comets are known to produce hydrogen as water ice vaporizes, the sheer scale of the halo from 3IATLAS was off the charts. It was producing water at a rate that simply didn't match its size or its fragmented state. Where was all this hydrogen coming from? It suggested a water reservoir far greater than what we could see, or a process for releasing it that was incredibly, unnaturally efficient. The comet was acting like a cosmic sprinkler system gone haywire. Then came the Psyche spacecraft. Psyche was on its own journey to a metal-rich asteroid, but its trajectory happened to bring it relatively close to 3IATLAS. While it didn't have powerful imaging cameras pointed at the comet, its sensitive navigation instruments detected something else, a gravitational whisper. The comet's path wasn't perfectly predictable. It was deviating, ever so slightly, from the orbit calculated based on the sun's gravity alone. Now, comets do this all the time. It's called non-gravitational forces, caused by jets of gas shooting off the surface and acting like tiny rocket thrusters. But the deviations for 3IATLAS didn't match the jets we could see. The pushes and pulls were coming from somewhere else. It was as if invisible forces were nudging the comet along, a ghost in the machine guiding its path. So let's recap the evidence. We have Hubble showing us a self-destructing nucleus inside a strange, pulsating cocoon. We have MAVEN revealing a hydrogen halo of impossible size, suggesting a colossal water source. And we have Psyche detecting mysterious path deviations that don't match the visible activity. Each piece of data from each of our 15 observers added a new layer of confusion. Instead of getting a clearer picture of 3IATLAS, the image became more fractured, more surreal. It wasn't just one rule the comet was breaking, it was breaking the entire rulebook. This led scientists down a rabbit hole of theories, each more fantastic than the last. Could 3IATLAS not be a comet at all? One idea is that it could be a fragment of a larger Pluto-like dwarf planet from another star system, which was shattered by a collision long ago. This could explain the weird composition and the massive amount of volatile material like nitrogen ice, which could sublimate differently than the water ice we're used to. This would explain the strange cocoon and the massive gas production, as different ices vaporize at different temperatures, creating a complex, layered outgassing process. Another, more radical theory questions the very nature of the object. Could it be something artificial? This is always the theory of last resort, but the strange behavior is hard to ignore. The teardrop cocoon, the efficient hydrogen production, the unexplainable course corrections. Some have speculated that it could be an ancient, derelict alien probe, perhaps one that was self-destructing or venting fuel as it passed through our system. It's an extraordinary claim, and it requires extraordinary evidence, which we certainly don't have. But the fact that such ideas are even being discussed in scientific circles shows just how profoundly strange 3IATLAS truly is. It forces us to consider possibilities that lie at the very edge of our imagination. What's truly fascinating is that even in its death throes, as it dissolved into a cloud of dust and gas, 3IATLAS gave us more science than 100 ordinary comets. It showed us that the universe is far more diverse and stranger than we ever imagined. Maybe comets in other star systems aren't just dirty snowballs. Maybe they're nitrogen-rich fragments, or something else entirely. 3IATLAS wasn't just a rock, it was a messenger, carrying a story from its home star, and that message seems to be, you do not know as much as you think you do. The legacy of 3IATLAS is that it broke our models. In science, that's a good thing. It's when our predictions fail that we learn the most. It forces us to go back to the drawing board, to create new theories that can account for the bizarre, the unexpected, and the downright weird. This single, fleeting visitor has likely launched a decade's worth of research, simulations, and debates. It's a reminder that space is still the ultimate frontier, full of objects that can and will shatter our preconceived notions. Sadly, we'll never get another look at 3IATLAS. What was left of it has passed by the sun, and is now heading back out into the void of interstellar space, a ghost of what it once was. But the data it left behind, that gallery of 15 different perspectives, will be studied for years to come. It's a cosmic cold case. We have the evidence, the fingerprints, the crime scene photos, but the suspect has vanished, leaving us with one of the most compelling mysteries in modern astronomy. What was 3IATLAS? An alien artifact? A planetary fragment? Or just the weirdest comet ever? We may never know for sure, but the search for answers will undoubtedly lead us to a deeper understanding of our place in the cosmos. Thank you so much for watching. This story is a perfect example of how every new discovery in space seems to open up 10 more questions. What do you think 3IATLAS was? Let me know your theories in the comments below. And if you love exploring the biggest mysteries of the universe, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. We've got plenty more to explore together. See you in the next video.